Hi folks, Kevin here. Well, it's May 8th, 2018. I just got done having some lunch. I went in and took a break from pruning in the first food forest, and just posting a video on where the bees gone, the loss of the bees on the property due to the long cold spring. And while I was sitting there and I checked, and I could see that there was a new question that came up from David M. regarding the use of wood chips and potentially integrating that in with swales. There's a dump truck going by to our neighbor gravel bed. So David M. asked, does anybody have an opinion about, whether you put wood chips into swale systems? And I've got swales all over the property here, and I bring in tons of wood chips as well, both of which I think are wonderful resources. A swale system is, although I break some of the general guidelines when it comes to swale installation, like my swales, most of them aren't on contour. And when you're installing swales in a system, they can be relatively shallow. Hank's starting to do some frog hunting, little bugger. When you're installing swales, typically you try to find the level lines that sort of wander around the level lines of the property. And my property goes in this direction. It goes from northeastern to southwestern, and that's the slope of the property, and therefore perpendicular to that slope is the lines of contour. And putting ponds up relatively high on the property and putting them lower as well, but having swales that work their way around and hopefully join to pond systems is really wonderful, and they create wonderful aquatic systems. And when I'm mentioning aquatic systems, I'm not just talking about fish species. I'm talking about insects and amphibians and reptiles, besides the fish species, and certainly all the aquatic plants that live in those aquatic systems. Now, a swale is also a water harvesting system. And I'm not sure how I'm doing with the light here. I apologize. It is a water harvesting system where we can capture the rainwater that comes onto the property, slow it down, spread it out, sink it, and recharge the aquifer. And a swale system is also a system that, if managed properly, really provides not only water but nutrients to food forest systems. And when I say food forest systems, I'm talking about tree systems and bush systems, and whatever their uses are, nuts and fruit and all, or it could be wood species that you're wanting to harvest as well, or creating habitat for wildlife, whatever your goals are. So it's a water harvesting system, it's an aquatic establishment system, it's a water resource system, it's a nutrient resource system as well, and it's an ideal system for growing trees and bushes. Now, some people will say that swales have no places in places like this, where we get all this rain and all this snow accumulation. And as you've seen in some of the videos that I posted thus far, I believe that it's really been very beneficial, because our mother material is gravel. And this is an area where glacial deposit came through. Some places have good clay or various other soil types, sand, silt, and clay, and we have lots of gravel before it gets down to silt. So that large aggregate material being rounded edges, water tends to percolate through that system very, very well. The sounds are, Hank, get out of there. Leave the frogs alone. That's my boy. So I just wanted to give that bit of background information. And I also love wood chips. And I'm going to turn the camera around. Bear with me one moment. Okay, I tried shooting this a couple of times. So here we can see an area in the second food forest where we have trees and bushes planted. It's not really easy to see right now. And this is on the downward slope from a swale that's installed right over here. Oh my goodness, is this right over in this area here? There's lots and lots of wood chips that have been deposited all along this whole area here. I don't know, this is probably 18 feet wide, 15 to 18 feet wide, I guess. And I'll be going over what's planted here and how I'm dealing with training these trees in a future video. But there's lots and lots of wood chips put on this side. The winds often come out of the northwest. Now sometimes they come out of the southwest as well. This swale is not on contour, but the base of the swale is level. There is a small pipe above level ground, so it's above the basement of the swale. So when the water gets too high in this swale, the water can drain over here, oh dang it, into pond 2. So that goes underground there. This swale drops down about 8 to 10 inches from the side of the driveway, which has a crown to it. So the water runs off the center of the driveway, and any water that escapes the previous swales upstream there comes off, gets deviated down into the swale, which drops down into a lower level. And it's probably about 10 inches lower than the side of the driveway. Material gets gathered, plants grow in this system, and you can see there's algae in here right now. There are weeds all in this system. Hell, Hank's in there right now. Lots and lots of leaves and organic material gathers in here. And every couple of years I come by with the excavator and I gradually scoop out all of the organic material that builds in here, because it builds up, probably, I don't know, 3/4 of an inch to 1.5 inches a year of soil that builds up down in here. And there's plants planted along in here as well, and I'll go over that in another video. So the water comes off the driveway, works its way into the swale, once it reaches a certain level, the excess water is going to be deviated and brought over into pond 2, and then it works into the soil collection canal system before it gets to the bioremediation canal system. So with regarding putting additional organic material into a swale system, we're decreasing the amount of water that can be harvested. That's why I do use this as a soil collection system. The better soil collection system is actually the canal system, because the canal system is much deeper, and therefore all the material can go into it. And if I wanted to, I could put cardboard and wood chips and all that into that system, and over time all of that organic material would break down with the presence of all the aquatic species that are there, and we have a really rich soil. These are some of the richest, nutrient-rich areas are in aquatic systems because of the tremendous biodiversity that inhabit these aquatic systems. So I know this was rather long-winded, but I don't think it's wise to be putting wood chips into a standard swale system. If you dug your swale system out to be deeper, much deeper, and lined the base of it with chips and still allowed it to be a swale system, as long as it isn't on something like clay, which is non-porous, relatively non-porous, then I think that you could get away with it. It would actually be an okay thing. But if it's a standard swale system that isn't something that you're planning on going back and harvesting the breakdown products of the wood chips, I wouldn't be doing it, because it's interfering with the function of a swale system. Okay, I'll try to pick up where I was just a moment ago. I think that wood chips could be put into water gathering systems, such as if you were to install a gray water system. So you're recapturing the nutrients that are in the gray water used from washing laundry, dishes, your sinks, all of those things, and going into a large pseudo swale system that has lots of wood chips in it, and then just cleaning out the wood chips and exchanging them over time. I think that would be a wonderful system. Or using that wood chip system after it matures some to actually create a wetland sort of environment with continuous gray water feeding the system, and that could produce plants as well. So Dave, I think that was a great question, and I thought I'd make a quick video response. So much for quick video response with my 2 cents and my thoughts on the appropriateness of using wood chips in a swale system. In general, unless you're specializing your system like we talked about, or using it for a gray water system, I don't think that wood chips mix well with standard swale systems. We really want to use those for harvesting water, slowing it, spreading it, sinking it, recharging aquifers, creating aquatic environments, even if they're transient aquatic environments, to increase nutrient and water flow to a tree growing or bush growing system. A perennial growing system is what I'm trying to say, I guess. Around here you'll see me using lots of wood chips, paper products and all, trying to gather as much organic material as possible. They're free resources, so that's what I'm all about, trying to gather as many of these free resources as possible. So I hope this helps out some. Please give it a thumbs up if you think it was of value. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Hit the bell if you want to be notified when other videos come up, when I post them rather. And by all means, have a great day. Thanks so much for watching, folks, and have a great day. Bye-bye now.